true seeker removes the delusion by devotion to realize the real self. That is how I put up the title. True seeker removes true seeker. So I'm not here to judge. You guys have to judge yourself. So the true seeker removes the delusion by devotion to realize. How many times every day you experience the anxiety, duality, conflict? What? Do you prepare the notes for yourself first, that am I changing or not? Or do you feel, no, I already got the knowledge, I understand it, now I'm changing? And then you have a guilt. Why you have a guilt? Because internally you got upset with the person. So what happened to that knowledge? What happened to that knowledge? Are you getting it? So sometime because of your profession or your social level, you have an opportunity to start talking about these Eastern wisdom coaching to the people, to your friends. Don't lose that opportunity. Don't lose that opportunity. Journey to the what we discussed, and let me give you a brief reference and then we will come back. In the last session we discussed a difficult life and easy living. One option. Easy life and difficult living. Easy life, easy living. So we have, out of the three, we have two positive options. Even if the life is difficult, I have an easy living. Clear? I believe so. And you have an easy life, and then you are easy living. So easy living comes from the journey of the self-discovery, understanding it. But what happens that I have a difficult life or an easy life, and still I have a difficult living? What is that element is missing? I have a knowledge. Every human being can receive the knowledge easily, Human intellect. Huh? Anyone, whether we are literate or illiterate, but then what happens? So I explained you indirectly the busy trap. That busy trap comes from the false ego. False ego. Now I'm just helping you to, you might have experienced those scenarios. You have understood that the peace is your essential nature, happiness is your essential nature. There is no chance of the anxiety, and still I get into anxiety, I get agitated, I'm stressed. Does it happen? Why? I understand. I've been attending this session, but why it happens? One day I feel I have changed a lot. The next day I get frustrated, I have a guilt, I'm not changing. Does it happen? I know, I understand, I have heard, my intellect agrees, but the knowledge continues to cry without success. Why? Why? Do you remember the value I discussed about the value in the mind of emotion must be attracted to the knowledge in the intellect. That is what, how I discussed. You have the Eastern wisdom, knowledge, then you have a teacher, you are a seeker, you are receiving the knowledge. In between, you have vasanas and the past impressions, my past habit, and then you have the mind, and that is the chain I made it. But now I'm making it very simple. Knowledge without devotion, knowledge of the real self without devotion is impossible. And devotion without knowledge is incomplete. That is why we have a guilt. That is why we get into anxiety. Even after understanding what I said, the knowledge without emotional balance or devotion is impossible. So what majority of the people do? They continue to have the big I thought, they understand, they claim they have understood, but lacking that devotion, transformation is not possible. Are you getting it? Devotion without that emotion, value in the mind. If that emotion is not directed to the knowledge, devotion without knowledge is incomplete. Take simple example. Yesterday, this young guy had a session. You wake up in the morning and you did not do the practice. Why? Because you say I'm lazy. So I am lazy is lacking the emotion, not referring to the knowledge. Intellect has the right knowledge, I should have done the practice. So you have a guilt of not doing the practice I failed to do. Now I should not have been angry and hesitated, But it happened. It happened. It happened. Are you understanding that? Very subtle. So those people who claim they are not doing any practice, it is all just an awareness and consciousness and everything will happen. How everything will happen? What about your past impressions? What about your attitude? What about your behavior since your childhood? What about the past impressions? How many times you were hesitated? What will happen to that? You have to release that. If you don't release, nothing is going to happen. Again, I'm repeating. Knowledge of the real self, to receive that knowledge is the easiest thing. What is the easiest? You are of the nature of real self. Did we realize it? Why not? Knowledge without directing that emotion is impossible. Self-knowledge. I'm not talking of the knowledge of the smartphone and tablet and other things. Pay attention to this. Many people say, oh, yes, I remember. I was talking about this medical student, when I met him in New Jersey. Now he is a doctor. So, day before yesterday he called me, so I want to continue. Let us continue our journey. So his mind somewhere is still committed. He's emotionally charged. Now I will have to do it. What I'm saying, emotion. Without that emotion is known as devotion. That is known as the bhakti in path of emotional integration, or sometimes we say yoga of love. That yoga of love, if it is not there, then the self-knowledge is impossible. We'll talk about it. Why? So we have also to understand why. If we don't understand why, then we'll still have it out. So now there are two things, knowledge and emotion. Knowledge, emotion, feeling, or you can say emotional quotient, whatever you want to say. You can use any word. But I will prefer the word devotion and bhakti. Two things. Understand it clearly. Knowledge is like the light. Emotion is, what is emotion? Just, I see the light, oh, I see the couple of papers are lying down there, so I have to clean up. But in the presence of the light, the knowledge does not remove the impurities lying on the floor. That emotion is a purifier of the mind, knowledge is the illuminator. We all are seekers, so we are going deeper. Did you understand that point clearly? The mind contains lot of impressions. It needs to be purified. The knowledge is not going to purify it. Knowledge is not going to purify it. The mind has to be purified, and it is purified by the emotion. Knowledge, illuminator. Emotions, purifier. Do you see the beauty of the Eastern wisdom? It always gives you the cause and effect, relationship. It gives you a clear understanding. So it has given you the understanding that I am of the nature of the real self. You have already told me for the last 5 years. You have been talking. Yes, I have told you. Why didn't you realize it? Why didn't you? So I'm just giving you the reason. And that purifier means that I am doing the practice regularly without fail. I take over my anxiety, laziness during my days of working. I build internally. I harmonize. I purify the mind so I don't have any score to settle with anyone, any situation. So I have a refreshed approach to people, to relationship. That is a regular practice internally. But you don't miss the practice every day. Rather than, I say you that at least once you do it, you are doing it for twice or 3 times, whenever you find the time. Knowledge keeps on crying without devotion. Yesterday, this young guy was saying, I understand. He was saying that, I have lot of rashes and doctor did not give me the right reason and I'm totally upset. Mind is consumed. I understand. What you are talking, I understand. That I should not be into anxiety. But what should I do? This problem comes. Another problem. I have spent so much of time. I have yet to change. I have not transformed myself. You are to blame. Teacher is to blame. The knowledge is to blame. Again, I am repeating. Knowledge without devotion is impossible. Value in the mind Directing it to the knowledge without knowledge is incomplete. In the previous sessions, we worked on that. Oh, value in the mind has to be set. It only can be set by regular practice, regular understanding, so that we can purify. The devotion acts like a scavenger. Where? Scavenger of the mind. Vasanas, past impressions, the obsessive attitude towards people and the things will definitely dissolve. That will open the door to the mind, will change the behavior and attitude. Otherwise, it is not going to happen. You may think of the big words. Oh, I'm just aware all the time. Are you aware of the anger? No, you will not be aware of the anger deeper inside without the help of the emotional poise and the devotion, and then it will upsurge. It will manifest. So what is this devotion? Devotion is simply recognizing, reminding the entire existence. If the devotion is absent, then what happens? We are wonderful people. Our behavior is wonderful, but it comes from the ego. Devotion is absent. So devotion is recognizing, reminding that every time, every moment that existence is present. How that existence is present? Can I convey my ideas and thoughts to you without this body? No. How this body is composed of? This body is composed of the 5 elements. Can I convey any message to you without the presence of the mind? So yeah, 5 elements, and then we have the mind, and then we have the intellect. Oh. So is body me? No. Let me be grateful to that existence, to my parents. At least why I have to pay gratitude to my parents? Because they gave the birth to a human being, this crazy human being. If my parents have been mosquitoes, no listening. Crocodile. I'm linking my ego to diffuse its domination. That is why he said devotion is recognizing, reminding the works of the existence in my life, outside in the world, all the time. So that, I have received so much from the existence, having a human birth based on the 5 elements. It has given me the mind and the human intellect. I can make a conscious choice. Or did you created a plan? You gave to the existence, please give me a human birth. Please let me be born with these parents. Did you ever say that? I'm just asking you to think. So I become aware of the vast existence in my life. That is what the devotion is. And this devotion is one-way traffic. It is not two-way traffic. The moment you are filled with that emotion and the feeling of a gratitude to the existence, mind has already set the value, and that knowledge will, as an illuminator, will enter into the mind. You will become aware. Oh, these departments have a lot of anxiety, maybe because of my parents, maybe because of my kids, because of friends. Oh, let me remove it. Otherwise, I cannot know it. It will remain hidden inside. That is blocking me to reach to that state of higher state of the consciousness. No, I can be aware. That's not a big deal. Are you aware? Yes. So otherwise you need a teacher who lives with you 24/7 asking you, are you aware? Are you aware? Are you aware? That is what we are going to understand deeply in the satsang, but understand clearly. Receiving and giving attitude. That is why Eastern wisdom and other religions also, they say the service, act of gratitude plus the regular practice will help us to transform. All the religions talk about this service. Why service? To get rid of the selfishness. Why to get rid of this? From where the selfishness comes? From the I thought and ego. How the I thought is working? I thought is working based on the past impressions. How the past impressions are affiliated with my emotion, impulsive nature, animal nature. You see the chain reaction. Otherwise, so the big answer to the question is, what is the big answer to the question is, knowledge without devotion, impossible. It will never happen. So I'm just conveying the message that I should go and find out myself. I should discover. I should find out those areas in the presence of knowledge, light. So once the switch on the light, I can see where the purities and impurities are lying. And the mind, or that devotion, acts as a scavenger. No, I don't need this. Now, in the light of that knowledge, my intellect says you don't need this. Why you continue to carry the past impression for the last years that that guy insulted you 10 years ago? Leave it. Drop it. Clean. But it has to be done. Without it, our masters are answering every question, every doubt. That is the beauty of the journey of the Eastern wisdom. So when the devotion is directed to that knowledge while purifying, leaving and dropping and dissolving, that is what the emotional quotient modern science is talking about. We know it very well. We know it much deeper. We have more clarity. We have more clarity about emotional quotient than modern science. Do you want to see the result of it? Now my emotion is directed to the knowledge of the self when living with the honey, when working at into my profession, when going into the mall, when with my siblings. What is going to happen? It becomes one-way traffic. What is one-way traffic? To find the real self while performing all the activities of your life. One-way traffic. What is two-way traffic? Minus the journey of the self-discovery, now it is always a two-way traffic. You don't know when your mind will manifest your anger, agitation, reaction. You don't know. Can you plan to be angry tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Answer is no, you cannot do it because then you are aware. But can you maintain that awareness throughout the day? No. What to do? This is what we are talking. So internal purification is there, then you need not to worry. Otherwise, you are always upset. Today you are happy with your son and tomorrow you are unhappy. Does it not happen? I'm happy with my honey. No, no, I don't like, I don't want to talk. The next day you are unhappy. You see the two-way traffic? Same situation, same person, same event. I'm happy and unhappy. It comes from that I thought. I thought, past impression, vastness. Until this, we have to understand it clearly. So after understanding, when I understand that that knowledge without devotion is impossible, my friends, think of it and tell me if it is possible, or I will not do anything and then I will be happy. Just try this. Try this. Then you will complain, you will blame, and one day you will leave the journey. Oh, hell with you. I have been doing these, I have been understanding you, but nothing happens. Why? Devotion. Devotion without knowledge. Even the devotion without knowledge. Why I said so? Scientific research, we said unbiased. So devotion without knowledge. There should not be a blind devotion. There should not be a blind belief. It should be by the knowledge. Then the life starts transforming. Then it is only a one-way traffic. How it is a one-way traffic when I'm guiding you, when I'm talking to you guys? The mind says you all are real self. You all are nothing but the existence. So if you are all existence and I'm expressing myself, I'm expressing the same existence. Leaving aside all those, even though I'm grateful who have been supporting me in this journey, but at the same time, the attitude of service that outpours the emotion, whether I'm teaching it privately or in a group or any group, or whether I volunteer a session. I've been volunteering a session. Almost now it has been 3 years. My mind never thought that, anything is coming from there. But yes, you have to maintain your livelihood. That is need-based. Think of it, my friend. One way to awaken to that one-way traffic of your mind, directing you again and again to the knowledge of the self, will help you to reach to that what? Choiceless awareness. Think. Even you have understood it. Think of the mind which is totally engaged with many thoughts pertaining to attachment and detachment and reaction, with your friends, with your honey. A lot of challenges outside. The mind is constantly engaged there. When the moment you have an attachment, you have an expectation. The moment you have an expectation, you have a desire. That desire pulls your emotions, seeking happiness outside, so you become fully busy. So there is a busy trap. And then I know it. I know it. Yes, I agree with you that you know it. But is there a transformation? Is there a change? Is there a progress? Is there a progress? Is there a progress? Knowledge without devotion, without emotion, without redirecting the mind to emotion is impossible. So in the following sessions we will open it up more clearly. Now I think everything is clear, but still we have to make that very clear. Clear means light. But when in the light, when I see the impurities in the mind and I don't do the practice, then I'm not purifying it. So when I'm not purifying it, then what happens you already know. Then we blame and complain that nothing is happening. This Eastern wisdom is a crazy tradition. It did not give me anything. Anyhow, close your eyes, being comfortable. Now, first the place. And I think I talked about it. The place. Place what? Place what? The place. Is there really a localized place? Everything is the space. The mind continues to hold on to the place, limited by a room and a house and a place and a location and a position, and then it causes lot of challenges. I'm not saying that you should imagine. I'm simply saying just be fully aware. Are you sitting in the infinite space or inside your home? Inside your home, then you will compare your home, my home, his home, her home. And what is this? It is the emotional content. I'm just giving one example so that you understand what we are doing. Oh, yes, I believe, yeah, I understand now. And then if you have a bigger house, then you're happier, and if you have a smaller, you see, now the two-way traffic begins. Choiceless awareness never comes to you if you continue to have a two-way traffic. Position, place, position in the posture, my friends. Being comfortable. Just be comfortable. Do you remember being comfortable? The comfort in you. Comfort in the body, it is not the comfort of the body. Comfort in the body will always be there if I can say mind marries with the knowledge and the intellect. Comfort will be missing. You have to work hard. That is why the master is saying, please practice. You have to practice for some time, few weeks and a month, and after that you are there. So when you are there, then you need not to worry even about those past impressions. Why? You instantly recognize them, redirect them. But until that ability comes, and being carefree, no event, the most pleasurable events took place in your life has any value after some time. Marriage, divorce, honors roll when I was in 10th grade, for example. I got a first job. I got the first payment. Someone said that you are wonderful. You see, it's a two-way traffic. It comes, I feel the pleasure, and I'm happy. After that, that happiness dissolves. There, the role of being carefree comes. So you purify, you're not okay. And then the flow of the breath, become aware of the flow of the breath. So you are checking it. Am I able to be aware of the flow of the breath without any change? I feel the sensation. So it means, I can maintain that level of awareness. In that level of awareness, I'm looking at the world, the first neighbor from outside. Any event, position, time, location you created, world you created, a situation. Is my suffering? I will take up that lesson, I'm just hinting you. Is my suffering situational or self created? No suffering is situational, means that situation, that person created the problem. This is what it is my interpretation. It is, but why interpretation? Devotion to the world outside, devotion not to the knowledge. You have to live into that. You do the practice as many times as possible to find, oh, this is the reason. Second neighbor, body. Same thing with the body. Physical body. I am the body. I explained you the example of the rashes. Because I'm so much identified with the body. I'm not identifying with the real self, is the devotion. Third neighbor is the energy to life. Neighbor. Did you reflect on the word neighbor? Neighbor is not me. So it means I'm not the word, I'm not the body, I'm not the energy, I am not the mind. Mind contains, it attracts all the past impressions. So it is still the neighbor. The fifth one is the I-ness in the intellect. Sixth is the ignorance altogether. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Now you see that we are exactly praying the existence. Let everyone be happy. I'm using another sentence, another phrase. We are devoted to the existence. That is why I'm saying, let everyone be happy. But the mind deep inside says, except one, who caused lot of problem. Situational, there is no situational problem. Knowledge, the light comes, and the mind says, oh, scavenger, throw it out. Let everyone be happy. I have to work on it, my friends, regularly. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir. May there be peace for all. May there be peace for all. I said it, but my son is suffering. Son is suffering because of himself, not because of you. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Puranam. May there be completeness in all. A sense of incompleteness in me is an emotional point. More, it is not the knowledge part. Knowledge is sleeping because I feel the sense of incompleteness. Devotion is required to remove the impurity of a feeling of incompleteness. I believe you are getting into it. And Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. Again, we are meeting the existence mentally, or I would say emotionally, or devoted, or with devotion. Don't you say that, I work religiously in this opportunity? What it means, working religiously, redirecting all your emotions in devotion. Just giving you a simple way to understand. We'll go deeper into the satsang. And now looking deep inside the forehead in the space, drop Om Shanti and start breathing into long deep in the hissing breath into your chest, into your rib cage. Your rib cage expands, contracts equally with the long deep in the hissing breath, inhalation and exhalation. And Om Shanti, you continue to drop. Check that devotion is not fully there. If it is fully there, you can even do it for 10 minutes. You will not blame and complain. So all the blame and complaint comes because of lack of that devotion to the knowledge. But on one day it will happen. On the second day it will create a problem. So that is why I told you, continue the journey, continue. You are breathing Om, you're dropping Om Shanti. You're still breathing long deep in the hissing, dropping Om Shanti into the space. Is that a feeling you're getting when you're dropping Om Shanti? Is what exactly is the one-way traffic we want to achieve? And now just leave it. Be aware of the breath, the flow of the breath. Just check that the mind returns to that awareness easily. And in that state, start breathing deep, silent, and slow. Remember, as easy as comfortable you can do it. So we have a breath awareness. The mind moves with the breath from the top center of the head in the spine, reaches to the tailbone, and you are singing mentally the nyasa. You are singing mentally Om Shanti. And as you exhale, the mind moves with the breath that is going out. From the tailbone, mind moves to the top center of the head, singing Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. You see and you experience the gentle breeze. Mind is absorbed deeper within. So the knowledge what you are doing, illuminator. Mind, scavenger. Result, almost a kind of self-absorption of the three-pointed awareness, the movement of the mind, the spine, and Om Shanti. There is no objection coming from the mind. No objection is always there from the intellect because we have understood it. Now leave this. Start dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of fingers and check there is no objection from the mind. Objection, impurity. Why? The intellect knows it. This should be done, but the mind doesn't do it. Or some objection comes, some rejection comes. What is that? We are working at a very subtler level. And that is why I said knowledge without devotion is impossible. Knowledge means a realization of real self. Awakening our understanding all the time what choiceless awareness. We can use different words. So you're and now is the time to move your mind inside the heart. Visualize the triangle. Moving the mind on each side of a triangle, dropping Om Shanti clockwise and anti-clockwise. And checking you are able to find the sync. The moment you find the sync, move the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. And mind seemingly stops when you say pushing the mind deep inside, and Shanti. Then you check. Knowledge is clear in the intellect, my friends. I think I have conveyed this idea, this knowledge correctly in today's session. I have a knowledge, but mind still doesn't listen. And if we claim that it will listen because simply by understanding, not possible. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Is the mind in a hurry to return? Just check it. These are the moments we have to catch and redirect. Bring the mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Very good lesson. I love the knowledge, the relationship with the knowledge and the emotion, the illumination, and the filter from the emotion, as I call it. And it's this evolution. We get good quality knowledge. We change the filter that the emotion is feeding the mind, and we go back to the illumination. It's just this sort of process. So for me, I have this feeling of unlimited boundless energy. The meditation portion was very excellent. Thank you.
Yes, beautifully said. Filter. Why filter? Because the mind is still submitting itself to the animal, impulsive, habitual, addictive nature. So it has to move in only one direction, and that one direction is the real self. And it results into choiceless awareness. Beautifully said. How are you, Jay?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. It was an extremely deep meditation. What stood out for me is that limitless kind of acceptance with no resistance.
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Limitless existence or awareness of that limitless existence. It dissolves the barrier created by the mind. Beautifully said. How are you, Dennis?
I think when we say that I understand the principles explained by the teacher, this understanding is valid only at that moment. And the next moment, the pain or pleasure or some other thought comes to the mind, and this understanding is gone for some time, for the time of that thought or that pain or that pleasure. So this is where I think the devotion and the emotion and what you have been explaining today comes to play its role. Because as I understand it, it is deeply linked with the value set.
Yeah.
When my value set is to achieve that real self, then the pain or pleasure, even if it is still there, it plays a secondary role, and it cannot obscure the understanding. The understanding still remains live and can take over the pain or the pleasure. And what I remember from your other sessions is what you have explained, that your teacher told you that when you experience pain, it means that the knowledge sleeps. So that kind of struck me, and I keep repeating it to myself, so that the knowledge is something that can overcome any kind of pain. If the value set is right and if devotion is there. So this is what I think I would
Beautifully
look under.
explained. Beautifully explained. That is why we all share the experiences, step by step. One way you can say the value set, the other way you can set that it is the emotional content. I'm waiting, for example, now it is 66, so Indian mind says, I'm waiting for the honey, for example, or I'm waiting for the real self in that honey. That makes a tremendous difference. I'm waiting for a honey, physical level, mental level, emotional level, lot of other stuff, many ways to fall into the traffic. But I'm still waiting. Let the real self express itself all the time. So then my relationship with the honey will go bad? No, wait, you will feel a new type of refreshing relationship with the entire existence, including your honey. You don't label it. You don't label it. So when you don't label it, that is what the Dennis is saying. When you don't label, your mind does not label emotionally, let it be there. So where is the problem? But it's a very subtle awareness. I try to explain. How are you, Stephen? But remember, regular practice to change that mindset, regular practice to purify the mind. Yes, Stephen.
Thank you, sir. Very good lesson. The lesson led into my meditation of quite a bit on the front side of it, of contemplation and reflection. In regards to a couple weeks ago, I was reading some old notes. You back afraid. A comment says about knowledge, get real. And so today, without knowledge and emotion, we won't be able to find the real self. And that started to trigger my thinking and the analogies or metaphors of the one-way and two-way traffic. These were the things I was thinking about in the beginning of my meditation, and realized that, for the most part, I'm on a one-way journey. And the only time it becomes a two-way journey is when it relates to the people closest to me. And how do I now focus on that? And that I will believe will help get to the next level of where I'm going, along with the knowledge, awareness, the knowledge, and commitment, devotion to this. And David, thanks for that, using the filter. That's very helpful as well. So outside of that, when I that all settled in, complete silence, and it was very difficult coming out of meditation. So thank you.
Beautiful, yes. It is very difficult. I got some ideas what Stephen was while he was talking. It is gone. Okay, let it go away. So, so yes, what is I want to emphasize the regular practice is required to allow the mind to settle into that knowledge. And what is that knowledge? That knowledge is understanding. That knowledge is awareness. Nothing more than that. So, what is awareness? Awareness is only one, it is not two. So, you don't fall into the two-way traffic. Why you fall into the two-way traffic? Because of the impulsive nature of the mind, where trillions of impressions are already there. So even if these impressions are there, but emotion is directed to the real self, it becomes one-way traffic. Very easy to achieve, very hard to achieve. What about you, Brandy? We don't hear you. But thank God you all are hearing me clearly. I reset this sound bar, the speaker and the microphone together, so there is no issue. Brandy, hi. Brandy has joined again, yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I had two takeaways today. One was that the knowledge alone is not enough, right? That you have to have the devotion and the emotion with it. And two, I did my practice today in my office as opposed to at home because I'm going to have to leave here in just a second for a meeting. And it was interesting what you said at the beginning of the meditation about the space being, I forgot the words you used, but like all encompassing or inclusive. And this isn't usually the space where I practice, but it was kind of an aha, like, yeah, it's here too, right? Like the consciousness is in this space that I tend to be so cerebral in, and it's like, no, it's all the same thing. So it was good to be able to be here today and see it like that, because I admit sometimes I keep it separate, and that's my work. So thank you.
Yes, we should have aha moment all the time. Every moment is aha moment. That is what the awakening is. That is what knowing the real self. Aha moment everywhere, everywhere, all the time, in all the location. Why? I discussed that my pleasure, my problem, my suffering is not situational. It is created by me, not my honey. So then I become impulsive. Mind instantly goes. And I'm just giving an example. So that needs to be understood. So yes, Brandy, regular practice until or what time you will come to know. You'll come to know. So sometime I sit for meditation for today I know it was 1.5 hours. My just mind was just contemplating and reflecting. What it is contemplating, reflecting, the knowledge of the self. That becomes a part of meditation. Waiting meditation is just lot of crazy stuff. No, that is not the part of a seeker. How are you? We have yeah. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. My aha today was realizing and noticing the journey through meditation and the knowledge that we gain is to then bring it back to our day to day
Yes.
more awakened life. Because I often want to stay in that place of meditation forever. And I noticed red and orange, and I've never seen color before, so
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, red and orange. Yeah, it has two qualities like Rajoguna and partial Satoguna. So obviously that indicates what you have expressed in your experience sharing, that you feel good, and that is yeah, that is one way to see it. So we have left these visions and colors, but don't hesitate to share that. We have left almost 2 years ago. We understand that, but if it is happening, it is a sign of the progress. Very good. So how are you, Barbara?
I'm good, thank you. You mentioned the difficult life, and I think that difficulties give you more of an opportunity to evolve. And once you connect with your real self, there are no difficulties.
Yes, I 100% agree. You are connected. So in connecting to it, the first is the intellect should absorb, should receive the right knowledge about the real self. But the mind is too far. Mind says, what the heck, I'm living in my own pleasure. So that mind has to be redirected to that knowledge when again and again, when I forget, as the Dennis was saying, I forget, the mind is ready to take over. So that journey of the mind has to be done again and again, consciously redirecting, or by practice, or by, there are many practices pertaining to that. Rightly said. Very good. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, practice was good. Initially, the breathing was heavy, but after some time, it was become smooth. And at the very end, there was the thought of breathing is also gone. It was completely calm and peaceful.
Completely calm and peaceful. Beautiful. Beautiful. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर कई बार कुछ गलतियां कुछ कमियां होती हैं और सटल लेवल पे पता भी है कि वो है लेकिन वो दूर नहीं हो पाती तो वहां पर मुझे सरेंडर बहुत हेल्प करता है कि
तो वही तो
गुरुदेव आप
डिवोशन
करो
है, उसी की तो
आप
बात की. What she is saying that sometime she raised a very good point. Sometime we know we are doing the wrong thing internally, but we keep on doing it. I'm just expressing in that way. Why? Because the mind is not redirected. So she uses the word surrender. Surrender is very, surrender in the West is normally used for surrender of the army, you know. Now the Russia and Ukraine war is going on, so there we use the word surrender. So instead of a surrender, I'm using the word devotion, redirecting that mind, asking the mind to submit to the existence only, not to the pleasures outside. Why the pleasure outside is experience which is situational. My mind is already outside. What practice I can do? I cannot do any practice. So seeking the pleasure or avoiding the pain causes in the mind some turbulence, some turmoil, some conflict, and that conflict overpowers the knowledge of the real self. There, the idea of the surrender or devotion or emotional channeling or value set. You can use different words, they come. And then we experience the transformation. I can tell you that you won't feel tired at any time on any day. You have worked for 16, 17 hours. You have walked it. You have never did the trailing and still you can do that. Yes, depending on the physical age, you do it. But as far as the tiredness, you feel that there is a tiredness, but it doesn't disturb your mind. You feel that there is a need to relax. Okay, let me relax and then I will move further. Some unusual changes that takes place in this journey of a transformation. That is all for today. Thank you very much, and we will meet again.
Thank you, sir.